Hey everyone, I'm not going to keep anyone waiting too long. You're like, it's Slacker Saturday. It's exactly what's intended. So, initially, Tyler and I were going to do a show this weekend, but during the week, he caught a bout of neurovirus, and that pretty much kicked his ass all week. So much so that he missed the majority of work. So, I think he was going to attempt at least this weekend to go in and make up for some time. But yeah, you just got me. This is going to be really loosey goosey, though I do have a couple of things that I want to talk about along the way. But I'm here to interact with the chat, take your questions, and we'll see how this turns out. This is going to kind of be in the event that we don't do a show, and I have the time to squeeze it in. We'll do a Slacker show. So all of you that are gonna pop in, I'll just ramble on for a couple more minutes too. Just fill up the chat, comments, questions, anything. We will cover it all. Anything you want to ask me, anything you want to talk about. Well, most anything anyway. We'll draw a line there. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, feel free. Anything at all, pop it in the chat. Let's hang out. Let's talk. And I do have, as I said, a couple things that I want to kind of touch on along the way. So, yeah. Hey, happy Saturday to everyone. I mean, if you're going to be watching this like a week later, then happy whatever day it is that you're watching it. But yeah, I'm just going to chill out for a couple hours, maybe a little less, maybe 90 minutes. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it is interacting with everyone. This may be a complete and total bust. So we'll check out and know for anyone that starts to ask, this is not any sort of alcoholic beverage. This is Liquid Death Killer Cola. I don't know if anyone drinks any of the other brands of this. I know a lot of people are into the teas that they do. That's not really my deal. The root beer flavor of this is good, and I'm a big fan of the cola one. Let's see what we have here. Oh, hey, good morning. I mean, for me right now, it's about mid-afternoon. I initially intended to do this a little bit earlier in the day, but kind of crawled into bed after sleeping on the couch for a little bit. Crawled into bed and then just kind of didn't set an alarm and just wanted to see where it would take me. And of course, I just passed out and slept like a rock. What we got here? Yes. Never had Liquid Death. Is that like flavored tonic water stuff? Yeah, it's like sparkling. Let's see how they label it on the can. Flavored sparkling water. So yeah, these don't 10 calories, much like you get with your sparkling water variety. And this one being Killer Cola, you would, I'll take a sip to try to it's got the cola taste. Like the first time I took a sip of it, I didn't enjoy it at all. And then I tried it again and tried it again, and I just kind of really, really, really enjoyed it. Doesn't To me, it doesn't taste like a particular soda. It doesn't taste like Coke or Pepsi or Dr. Pepper or anything. It's just like I don't know. Maybe it's akin to like RC Cola and some of those, but I haven't had a RC Cola in so long. Morning, because I just woke up. It's almost 2 p.m. Yeah, all right. So we're kind of in the same boat. Mine more so just the working second shift life, getting home at 1 a.m. and by the time you like do a couple things, take a shower, sit down and eat, it's to encroaching on 3 a.m. So it's that stuff that smells like soda but tastes like spicy plastic water. Maybe, yeah, spicy water, spicy plastic water is probably the best way to put it. Real quick though, because it's 2:56 and the AEW All Out show is going to start at 3 p.m. So let's quickly, very quickly, slide in my predictions for the show. Let me zoom in here. So all this stuff up here was pre-show stuff, and I know I'm talking wrestling, so some of you can just kind of tune it out for a second. But just gonna kind of go down how it's listed here. I know that this is not like the actual card listing itself, how the matches are going to transpire, but we have Adam Copeland and Christian Cage teaming up once again to take on FTR. They had their promo on Dynamite, and I think Dax got his nose broken legitimately, so that was pretty gnarly. But I don't know, the way that they've been building this, I could see. I hate to call him Cope because I don't like that nickname, but we'll call him that for the sake of it. Cope and Christian, I don't know. I think I see FTR winning this, and maybe they kind of extend this feud a little bit longer. This card's kind of actually sort of tough to pinpoint of who I think is going to win most of the matches. Not as predictable as, say, WWE, which we will get to WrestlePalooza and the counter programming here momentarily. But I'll take FTR in this one, though I could easily see that like having Cope and Christian beat them, but maybe they keep that going. Hurt Syndicate. This is going to be a trios match against Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. Of course, Ricochet and Gates of Agony cost the Hurt Syndicate the tag titles at Forbidden Door, though news reports sort of suggest that the reason that this was put in place is because Hurt Syndicate didn't want to put over any of the teams involved. Take for that what you will. Let's see here. I'll probably go with Ricochet and Gates of Agony could probably really benefit from the win, but once again, this goes to a point. It's like if the rumor and the dirt sheets are right about the Hurt Syndicate not wanting to put specific people over, would this also be the case? Let's go Hurt Syndicate on that. Next up, Mercedes Moné versus Riho. Riho, of course, being the inaugural AEW Women's Champion, taking on Moné. I see Mercedes retaining in this, keep that going. Though at this point, you do start to wonder who will inevitably dethrone Mercedes for the championship. But I'll go Mercedes for that one. Darby Allin and Moxley in the coffin match. Moxley doesn't lose often, and this is going to be a brutal match. And this is going to be one of those things, too, where I'll probably purchase the show and watch it later kind of thing. I'm going to go Darby. It's Darby's first match back, really. So, yeah, we'll go Darby. Briscoe and MJF in the tables and tax match. MJF lost last month in his match against Hangman. So, and Briscoe is one of those guys that's always over no matter what. So let's go with. Do they extend this feud? Because I read that MJF really wanted a feud with Mark Briscoe. So let's go with we'll go with MJF. I'm gonna probably be wrong on every single one of these. Four-way match: Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter versus Stat versus Tekla. Um, I could see Tony retaining just because she's like the best, absolute best in the division, and but this could be a good way to take the strap off of her. That's a tough one. Because Hayter's back from injury, former champ, Statlander, former TBS champ, kind of rising up the ranks, and Tekla's there. I think Tony retains in this one. Hangman and Kyle Fletcher, obviously, going to be the main event. See Hangman retaining, though. They could also put the strap on Fletcher, but they've been building as like you're not ready. But then again, Don Cal's family making them the force. But I'm going to go Hangman on that. Okada, Takeshita, and Dorada in the three-way. Okada and Takeshita, part of Don Cal's family. They've been having some tiff. I could see Takeshita turning face here. Maybe Takeshita takes it. For the sake of it, I'll say Takeshita wins to kind of further the tension there, to where Takeshita ultimately turns face. Eddie Kingston returning. I kind of wish he would have like just shown up as a surprise, like Forbidden Door to help out against Mox. But he's taking on Big Bill. Eddie Kingston easily going to win. Then, of course, the four-way ladder match: Brody King, and Bandito versus the Young Bucks versus Jet Speed versus the Don Callis family. I mean, they just put the belts on Brody and Bandito, but with the way that the Young Bucks, they've been doing that storyline, maybe they become four-time champs. But see Brodito retaining in that, but that should be an awesome match. So there's the predictions. That's probably all wrong for AEW All Out. So there is that. Fedmon here in the chat, what are you talking about? Pretty much anything and everything. I had a list of a few things I wanted to touch on. That was predictions for the AEW pay-per-view started 3 minutes ago. So that was my prediction for that card. Here in a minute, I'll probably read off the predictions for WWE's counter-programming show, WrestlePalooza, which is why AEW moved their show to 3 p.m. this afternoon. Because WWE is petty and they're not competition, but they're competition. So, Fedmon, this is just Slacker Saturday. Tyler has been ill this week, so we decided to take a break, but I thought I would hop on and stream and just kind of talk about random whateverness and take questions from the chat, read chat comments, all of those things. So hopefully more people start to pile in. And once again, I understand Saturday afternoon, over recent weeks, it's probably just been easier to catch us on a replay than to try to find us live. But once again, that's why it was always important to ring the bell so you would get notified when we did go live, whenever that would be, because sometimes it'd be Fridays or Saturday afternoon, Saturday nights, etc., etc. Before I get into predictions for WWE WrestlePalooza, there was some movie news that was actually really intriguing to me. Miami Vice movie reboots getting a release in 2027. It's going to be set in the 80s, but as you're probably like, oh my God, why are they doing this? There's the Colin Farrell, Jamie Foxx movie that was kind of back in the day. But the biggest thing that caught my eye was Joseph Kosinski's doing it, who was the director of Tron Legacy, Top Gun Maverick, just recently F1 this year. So his style alone, I think, makes him a very worthy candidate if they're gonna. I mean, they are, but if you were thinking like a year ago, it's like we would really like to do a Miami Vice movie, he would probably be at the top of the list of directors that you would want to make the project happen. Of course, no casting details of yet. That's pre-production stuff, but we will see who they end up casting. It could just be like Austin Butler or something as Sonny Crockett. which I guess wouldn't be a bad choice. I haven't really watched much of the movies that he's in and his acting abilities. So we will see how that goes. My buddy's customs, even though I have my notifications turned on, my phone likes to notify me hours later. Yeah. I've seen that happen a lot too. Surprisingly enough, my phone's pretty decent about showing the notification because I have it on there just to see before we start doing the show. I always open up YouTube on my phone so I could see if it's actually showing up yet that we are live. And of course, once it goes and it's starting to move along, then I get that drop down and it'll say, oh, they're live. But yeah, I could definitely see that kind of being a huge delay with a lot of phones. My buddy's customs, I don't like when they take the older shows and do a movie remake where they try to make it a comedy instead of what the actual show was. Example, Starsky and Hutch. Yeah, they would do that a lot, especially in the mid 2000s. You would see that quite a bit. Yeah, and Chips. Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for Chips and just eye roll inducing. I think most of that kind of spawned from the fact that Dukes of Hazzard did pretty well. So Hollywood saw the dollar signs. It's like, well, what other shows in this similar ilk can we take and put out there? I haven't watched any of those movies because I have no interest, but also to those shows. Miami Vice is the exception, but when you're going kind of prior to that, Chips, Starsky and Hutch, Dukes of Hazzard, and to an extent, the A-Team. I didn't watch that A-Team movie either, but even the show, I didn't really watch much of it all either. So, yeah, that's Hollywood for you. But I mean, all right. So you're saying Dukes of Hazzard was okay for what it was. Starting to see a few more people piling in. For those of you, I'll keep kind of reiterating this every so often. This is just a free flow. Let's read the chat. Let's take some questions. I cover some stuff and talk about some things for a little bit. Just kind of we're just slacking off. We're chilling out, hanging out. So we did the show. What was it? Last Sunday? No, was it Friday? Right? Yeah, it was last Friday. Everything was seemed, I guess, okay. And then Sunday, I think it was Sunday, I text Tyler. And I was just like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" He's just like, "Not good." And actually, let me pull up some of those. And norovirus, nothing to mess with because let's just to put it nicely, it was coming out both ends. So you can think about it in that regard. Yeah, I watched Batman 89 like early that morning before I went to bed, and then he had texted me like, oh, hey, because I was sending him just there was a particular video that I took when I was watching that. And I was like, what you been into today? And he's like, I've been in bed sick all day. I was on the toilet multiple times last night into the morning, dealing with severe chills and body aches as well. So he said, no kidding. I was like, that blows, dude. And he's like, no kidding. I wouldn't wish this on Rob David. So if that gives you any indication of just how terrible he was feeling. And I was trying to be optimistic. I was like, maybe it's a 24-hour bug. Maybe the turkey burger went bad that you prepped earlier in the week or something. And it just continued to go. And then it reached a point this week where he felt better, but then he couldn't sleep. So I guess he had been up for 24 hours at one point. I think he eventually went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, they confirmed he had norovirus and everything. So as far as I know, he's feeling better. Hopefully he's gotten his sleep back on track. But yeah, we decided to skip out on the episode this week, which if anyone was wondering what it was going to be, we were going to do one of those. I dubbed it Whose Mini Comic Is It Anyway? We were going to spin the wheel, let the wheel choose characters, location, etc., and then make a story from that. So that was the plan. Mike Lomax, hello. Welcome, Papa Huds. Hey there, everyone. Thanks for joining in. If you guys got anything you want to talk about, any questions too, please pop them in the chat room. Let's interact. Let's hang out for a little bit. My buddies, Customs John. I'm going to start calling you MBC. I only watched Chips because it was on at my grandparents' house and it came on before Unsolved Mysteries and MASH, which for every 80s and 90s kids know is time for bed. Yeah, absolutely. As a kid, I didn't watch Unsolved Mysteries that often because it scared me. I would hear the theme song, much like Tales from the Crypt. I mean, great themes, iconic themes, but when Danny Elfman's Tales from the Crypt theme would pop on, I would watch it as it's going through the mansion, but I always had to turn the channel before the Crypt Keeper popped up at the end and maniacally laughed for whatever reason. It terrified me. And this will come on during the daytime. I think CBS, maybe it was CBS that would play these like Saturday afternoons. I remember it popping on in the afternoons on weekends a lot. But yeah, I couldn't make it through. And then Unsolved Mysteries is the same thing. I would hear the theme and I'm like, oh God, what are they going to talk about this time? Oh God. So I couldn't watch it as a kid. If I'm not mistaken, I think original Unsolved Mysteries for a good chunk of it is, let's look it up, is streaming, or it was streaming. Yeah, Pluto TV. You can stream it there for free. Prime Video, Plex. It's on Peacock, Tubi. So yeah, plenty of places to watch Unsolved Mysteries if you want to check that out. You can call me the one guy who told Tyler on a live stream to F off. Okay, yeah, okay. I think I vaguely remember that now. Back in the day. I'll move on from, since I gave my all out predictions. Let's go to the counter programming that WWE has scheduled in an old ECW pay-per-view name, WrestlePalooza, which once again they don't have as much going on. AEW, I feel like you get more for what you pay for, and this is the first premium live event that ESPN is putting on, and a lot of people apparently aren't even going to get it with the packages that they have or something. So we'll see how many people actually end up watching this show. But John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, I see Cena winning it just because it's retirement tour, but Brock just came back and they might book Brock like Brock. So I don't really care either way. They'll probably play it safe. I know Lesnar usually manhandles his opponents, but with Cena got his Hollywood stuff going on, they probably don't want to get hurt. But I see somehow Cena winning, which much like he did when Lesnar came back. How long ago was that? Like 12, 13 years ago, and Cena beat him in the first match. I was like, whatever. The Usos teaming up again to take on the Vision of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Probably the Vision takes that. I haven't honestly, admittedly, been keeping up much with WWE and what they've been doing, just because I kind of made it a point once the event stopped being on Peacock and they went to ESPN. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to bother watching the product as much anymore. But let's let the Vision take that, because I don't really think they've won much lately. Punk and his wife AJ Lee taking on Seth Rollins and his wife Becky Lynch. Probably Punk and AJ. It's AJ's first match back. Why not have the feel good ending to that match? I guess. Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer. They'll probably put the belt on Vaquer because Io Sky's had it for a while and she hasn't really done a lot with it. And I know the machine is really behind, and rightfully so, Stephanie Vaquer. So yeah, probably put it on her. Why is it vacant though? Now I'm like, who even had that championship for it to be? Because I thought Io Sky, doesn't matter. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes will probably retain. Though I would like to see Drew get another championship run, especially as a heel. So there's the predictions for that show that I'm not going to watch. I'll just see the highlights and fallout and results from that. Buddy's Customs, NBC. Sorry, I said I was going to shorten that. Did you see Henry Cavill got hurt while training for the Highlander movies? So it's delayed a bit. Huge fan of the movies, except for the second movie where the aliens were from the aliens from space in the series. No, I did not see that. But that's always a bummer, especially if it's while he's training for it. So obviously, pre-production, we're not filming yet, so him getting hurt there and then delaying it obviously sucks. But it's cool that he gets to do that, because I know that he's I think he's a huge fan of the Highlander series himself, right? And he's big into D&D, and dude like custom builds his own PCs and stuff. So seems like a genuinely good dude. I know people were super pissed when James Gunn came on board, and it's like, oh, he's not gonna be Superman anymore, and what are they doing? Which apparently that Superman movie is on HBO Max now, so I will eventually get around to watching that and seeing how that goes. But Henry had the look of Superman. He just wasn't in good stuff to really to convey that. I know there's like a bunch of people that are like Snyderverse, hell yeah, but I fucking hated all of those movies. Man of Steel was probably the best of the bunch, and even that wasn't that great. The Dawn of Justice, the Batman Superman movie, it took me like 3 times to finish it. And it was and the bad thing about it too, like, I like Henry as Superman, like aesthetically, the way he talks, everything. I mean, even Ben Affleck as Batman, I was all for that, but just they were in shit movies. They jumped the shark with the second film, Mike Lomax says, in terms of Highlander. NBC, I was bummed when he was not Superman anymore, but I have to say the new Superman movie was amazing. Yeah, I've heard from you guys nothing but mostly positive stuff, so I need to just sit down on HBO Max now and watch it. The Superman films he was in were dark, and Superman is supposed to be a symbol of hope. Yeah, that was kind of the biggest misstep to that whole thing. I think most of us can agree that just all stems from the Nolan trilogy doing as well as it did. Let's run with these comic book, they have to be darker. It's like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. It had a little bit of a lighter tone to it, but it still had that dark underlying stuff to it. And I liked that first one quite a bit. The second one I absolutely hated. Tyler liked it a lot. Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man, but once again, too dark a movie. Speaking of dark, I guess the sun just went behind some clouds there. I didn't turn on the light over here, but let's see what else we got here. I loved everything about the Snyderverse except for the story. John Kent would never tell Clark he should have let those kids die on the bus. Yeah, just the whole thing too, where he walks into the tornado and all that bullshit. Whatever. Batman's supposed to be the one with the dark theme film. Absolutely. But I mean, even then too, it's like the Batman with Robert Pattinson. I thought the first I can't remember the time code on it, but probably like that first hour and change, I was kind of digging it quite a bit, and then it just fell off the rails. Or tell Clark not to save him from a tornado. Could have totally saved him and not been seen by anyone. Absolutely. So yeah, that movie's not good either. But if I'm gonna slot it against everything else, it is the best of the bunch. Speaking of, like, what is the Zack Snyder? Because didn't he do that zombie movie in like 2020 that had Batista in it? Or Army of the Dead. Yeah, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch any of those Rebel Moon movies, but I'm glad that he kind of went back to doing something that wasn't an original IP, or no, not or just an established IP. He's doing like original stuff. So yes, unless Rebel Moon is based off of something too. I don't know. But yeah, I had no interest in watching any of those. Man, I might have to get up and like turn the light on. The sun's not gonna come back out. But yeah, keep these comments. Hey, if you got questions too, like pick my brain, please. Let's do this. Video game wise, Borderlands 4 came out last weekend, and I decided to pick it up because I really enjoyed the first two. I didn't really mess around with the third game that much, or the pre-sequel either. So I was like, I haven't played one of these in a while. Let's give it a shot. I think I've only put maybe about 7 hours into it. I want to play more because they've toned down the humor that beats you over the head. Like they what the series was kind of known for. It's still there. They kind of toned it down a little bit. The guns feel good. I immediately got sidetracked with the side missions because the map's pretty huge in this game. So been enjoying that. So I need to sit down and play more of that. Also, because I've never played them, started Metal Gear Solid, the game on, and I'm not talking like Metal Gear or what was it, Snake's Revenge and Metal Gear 2 on NES and stuff. No, Metal Gear Solid, PS1, 1998. For whatever reason, never played those as a kid. Well, as a teenager. And the series kept going. So I had never played any of those games and decided I'm going to get I think it's like Master Collection Volume 1 that has those two NES games and then Metal Gear Solid 1 through 3, because the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta just came out, and I think that's kind of what got the ball rolling on that for me. So I started playing Metal Gear Solid, and then you just really have to get in that mentality of, oh, okay, it's quasi tank controls. You're using PS1 controls. It's 1998, and I died a lot, but it's very rewarding to start to figure out certain things and move a certain way. So I needed to jump back into that as well and keep going with that because despite its frustrations, I was really, really enjoying it. Bouncing back to comics, maybe Constantine, Dr. Fate, Etrigan, I don't know that character. Be Dark Films as well, but Wonder Woman and Flash should be happier. Yeah, and that was the thing too. It's like, yeah, a chunk of these characters are not dark characters, and we're gonna make them dark characters, and then it's just bad dialogue too. Of course, most of you probably know the Kal-El don't or no. I can't remember what she says. I heard Borderlands 4 is a nightmare for trying to play on PC. Yeah, so I'm playing it on PS5. So PC gaming, like I have a computer that could, maybe not Borderlands 4 on the highest settings, of course, but could run, I think, most games at good settings. But I enjoy more of sitting on the couch and playing video games as opposed to sitting at the computer to play. I mean, obviously, I've done it before. I've had video game streams, retro ones, and I've played like Marvel Snap and what was it, Dead Cells, and everything. So yeah, it's just I'm more comfortable at console, which I could stream from the PS5 too, which I thought about doing. Probably connect that to the Dump In channel. Link down below. If I haven't really posted anything on there. I think the last thing I did was that WCW magazine flip through thing, which did pretty well, things considered, for the Dump In channel. Fedmon, you stream some games sometime? Maybe just talk with the chat a little, bring back the Saturday Night Arcade. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. This mostly just spurred from a couple things of like, Emily is out of town. Was out of town yesterday, and for today, possibly tomorrow, depending how the qualifying race thing goes. And with Tyler being kind of down and out for the week, I was like, I'll pop on for a little bit, put something out there for you guys. And I thought, what better way than just to sit here and chill and hang out and take questions and talk to you guys. And maybe the longer this goes, the more people that'll pop in. So yeah, just anything, like, to a degree, of course, but literally anything. Let's talk about whatever. Won't lie, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite because I'm a 90s kid and they added Power Rangers and the Megazord to the game and you get to pilot it. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Fortnite's done a lot of fun things, a lot of awesome stuff that they've implemented in that game, but it's not for me. And I've watched other people play it and just how frantic it can be. It's like, no, this is not the game for me. But I'm glad that there are people that play it and enjoy it. I'm more now kind of just focused like single player stuff. Maybe some co-op multiplayer I'll dabble into. I did try the Battlefield 6 beta and liked that for the most part, though some of those game modes I wasn't a big fan of at all. But that one, Battlefield 6, I'll probably pick up when it goes on sale, I think, which probably won't be too long because games go on sale pretty quick these days. Man, is the sun ever going to come back out? Let me check the weather and see if it's supposed to do anything. Yeah, mostly sunny skies. So maybe there is a little bit of rain out there. Yeah, I don't know. I only play, no build, because that crap is too frantic for me. I just want to shoot, not shoot and build ramps and towers while spinning around like a crack addict. Yeah, it seems like everything I've ever watched on the game, that's exactly what they're doing. It's just like build, blah, 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 and shit's just spinning around. I'm like, nah, not for me. But also too, like the battle royale modes. I dabbled in that a little bit, but once again, just not for me. I'm at a point now where some multiplayer competitive stuff is fine. Like Marvel Rivals, I kind of got into for a little bit and enjoyed that. But I find myself now more than ever, I want something just story-based, single player, or something maybe like Borderlands 4 where the story's sort of there, but it's just, here's a new gun you can use. Oh, you leveled up, like action RPG kind of stuff that the story is there, but sort of takes a back seat to just gameplay and everything else. And I really like to, I call it shit looking. I just like to walk around. What's over here? What's over there? Just look around and explore kind of stuff. Which when the Oblivion remaster came out, I'm like, now's the time for me to try to jump in and see if these games will take to me, because years ago that wasn't the case. I was more like Halo 2, Left 4 Dead, man. Left 4 Dead I mean, I'm assuming servers are still up for it and people still play it, but Left 4 Dead, man, that first game. And I guess you could say the second game when they implemented the maps and the characters from the first game too. Just those two games. If you got a group of friends together and went out there, I loved Left 4 Dead. That shit was great. I wish I had more time to play games. Like all this stuff comes out. I was like, 80-hour campaign. I'm like, where was this stuff 15, 20 years ago when I was younger and had more time, or I would stay up later, and it just didn't. I guess that's just kind of you have to make time for it, right? And I struggle with that because I look at time way differently now. It's like getting home. Okay, you have 4 hours here. It's like this weekend you look at it. It's like, all right, instead of streaming and doing this, yeah, I probably could have been playing Borderlands 4, right? And putting a little more time into it. So it's trying to balance it and fit it in. Like most of the times, if I get home from work, I don't want to sit and play a game. Plus, you run the risk of playing a game keeps you awake after you turn it off because you're still like your brain has been uh, thoroughly engaged at this point and hyper focused. So I often find myself having a hard time going to sleep after I've played a video game. So I typically don't do that anymore. It's pretty much just get home, eat some food, and then put on some YouTube or finish watching a movie, which we can go ahead and get into that too. Just some stuff I've been checking out movie wise this week, and admittedly while I'm at work because having some downtime, it's like, oh, let's watch a movie in 20-minute increments or so. Most of these have come from the Criterion app, which I have been incredibly thankful for because Criterion's a label I've always enjoyed, but I, of course, been picky and choosy about the types of films that I want to years prior purchase on disc, but to have so many options now on their streaming service and you can just check it out without having to blind buy anything or read reviews and get recommendations and stuff. This first one, of course, I watched Batman 89 last weekend. I just put it on. I felt in the mood for a classic, so pop that on. This one wasn't on the Criterion channel, but it's something I meant to get around to watching for quite some time. Kind of been in a Paul Thomas Anderson mood, especially in the mood to watch some of the PTA movies that I haven't seen before. And this is one that's sort of been sitting there for the last 4 years, 3-4 years. Licorice Pizza. I enjoyed that quite a bit. It's obviously it takes some twists and turns, and a lot of it seems not very plausible, especially given the characters' ages and everything. But you think about it, 1973, things were a lot different back then, so maybe it was very plausible. But PTA's got a style there. I don't know. It was just comforting. I like coming of age type movies. I mean, this one, of course, has the PTA coat of paint on it, so it's a little more fucked up than you would normally get with your coming of age films. But I enjoyed that quite a bit. I watched the Atomic Age horror film Fiend Without a Face from 1958 on the Criterion channel, and that was fun for what it was. Obviously, it's a slow build to let's see the creature effects and what's really going on. But I don't know, interesting premise of these brains coming and they're invisible at first. It's like a scientist has his thought projections and it turns into these different brains and you can't see them, but they're starting to kill people because it's it's around this this atomic this base where they're messing with a lot of nuclear stuff. It was fun for what it was. I could see just why going to the theater and watching that when this movie came out was probably a great time. Also, Criterion Channel watched Night Moves with Gene Hackman. It's a noir film and thoroughly engaging. You get a very young James Woods, you get a young Melanie Griffith at the time, and it's basically just Gene Hackman being a PI, retired football player, now PI, who his wife's telling him he's wasting his time and she's cheating on him, and he finds out through his detective skills. But he gets this job, and it turns into all this intrigue. He gets attached to people, and I really liked it. It was a downbeat ending, but thoroughly enjoyable. I should have been giving star ratings out of this. Licorice Pizza, 4.5 out of 5. Fiend Without a Face, 3.5 out of 5. Night Moves, 4 out of 5. Criterion Channel, they do playlists every month. Things change on there. They'll upload different things, and right now they kind of have like a 90s soundtrack playlist. So it's got stuff like Grosse Pointe Blank, Singles, The Crow is on there, which fantastic movie. And I say that having watched it prior to, the goth community and Hot Topic girls sort of taking it over to a degree. But one of the films that was on there was Christian Slater's Pump Up the Volume from 1990. And at first, just from the poster, I thought it was like he's like a late night radio host or something. Because let me bring up the poster. Because I had a different idea of what it was without reading a synopsis or anything. Because on the poster, he looks way older. It's almost like, I can't explain it. It seems like it's mid to late 90s Christian Slater as opposed to like late 80s, early 90s Christian Slater. So there he is, right? And I'm thinking he's just actual radio host in a studio. It's like, no, that's not the case at all. He's this new kid in town, and his dad got him a shortwave radio, and he has plugged into one of the stations and has become very popular, anonymously popular with the other kids at the school. And he's telling them, like, got to rebel, and just being very grounded in just how teenagers are and how they feel. Even like nothing's changed there in that regard. So I surprisingly really enjoyed that immensely. It has a lot. It has serious tones to it too. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone that's never watched it, of course, but 4.5 out of 5. That rule, and the soundtrack's great to that. So Pump Up the Volume genuinely surprised me. I was like, wow, all right, holy shit. And I guess the other part of that is I've watched Christian Slater in things, but I guess I've just never really paid attention. It's like, yeah, he's really great actor. Who knew? Next thing I watched, Psycho Beach Party. This comes from the year 2000, and it's basically Gidget mixed with a slasher film, and it's not overwhelmingly funny. I chuckled at quite a few bits, and you think the story's kind of going this direction. Obviously, I'm like, all right, there's going to be a twist at the end. There was a twist at the end. But I just enjoyed having a slasher movie take place in that weird time period of just like surfer films of the 50s and 60s. So give that one 3.5 out of 5. And then to kind of round it out, I haven't finished watching it yet, but let me actually open up my Criterion app so I can give you a better description of what I watched from. After I get through this, I'll get to more. Let's see. Actually, My Buddy's Customs. Have you checked out the new Alien Earth series? Pretty good so far. I haven't. I've been a little apprehensive to maybe once all the episodes are out, because it's not the first season if they do more, but all the episodes aren't out yet, right? It's still ongoing. So I might just wait until it's finished up. I need to actually watch that latest Alien Romulus. I need to watch that as well. I've been putting that off for a while. But the Teen Apocalypse trilogy from let me find his name. From Greg Araki. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But his trilogy of films, so the Doom Generation totally fucked up and Nowhere. I am most of the way through the Doom Generation, and I think I got like 30 minutes or so left. And it's interesting stylistically. I enjoy it. It's definitely got a lot of tones to it, to put it that way. The dialogue, of course, it's like the screenplay seems like it was written by a 12-year-old. So I don't really know how to feel about it. But from 1995, indie film stuff. So I appreciate it and watching it in that regard. So we'll see how that one ends up when I'm done with it. And then I got a couple episodes into it last night because I am a stickler for sports documentaries. Netflix's America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, basically talking about Jerry Jones and the dynasty that the Cowboys had throughout the 90s. So I've enjoyed that a lot. And apparently the crew that directed this also directed the Battered Bastards of Baseball, which followed the Portland Mavericks. It's like Kurt Russell's dad was the coach. I can't remember, one of the two, but that one was really good as well. So to see them attach that and doing this and covering the era of football that I was really heavily invested in when I was younger is fun to see. And I hated the Cowboys back then. I was a 49ers fan, which they got their time in the sun, but ultimately it was much like the Atlanta Braves. It was like consistently good, but only got there and made it once when I was a kid. But yeah, that's the stuff that I watched this week. Alien Romulus is something. This Aliens Earth series I'll try to check out at some point. Superman, HBO Max, since that's on there now, I'll give that a watch. What else do I have for you guys? What else do you have for me? Come on. Give me some more stuff. Let's keep it going. I guess in terms too of sort of scheduling wise for the show, whose mini comic is it anyway will be the next topic. I think after that we're gonna do a card back tier list, which actually maybe we won't, since actually no, there'll be a change of plans on that. So we will do the mini comic deal next week, and then of course the following week it's going to be October. So we're going to be covering some horror related things. There is a Masters Universe topic within there, but we're going to have I guess you could call. We'll have a movie, we will have a comic book, we will have a Master Universe topic, and then probably something else, and that'll round out October. And then November, we got some stuff lined up too. I'm sure James will pop in at some point as well during one of those episodes. Let's see what else we got going on. I guess I could look up some movie news too, which I don't really do that often anymore. Look at movie news. I'll just see some stuff on Reddit and just be like, oh, okay. I know Tyler used to go to JoeBlow.com all the time. Man, this website now is definitely something different. So it's like latest news. Robert Downey Jr. and Shane Black treat Alamo Drafthouse to play dirty. I have no idea what that is. But speaking of Shane Black, man, The Nice Guys. I was trying to tell Tyler he needs to watch The Nice Guys with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, because that was a really good movie. Yeah, this Joe Blow site, man, not what it once was. It used to be way easier to check out. I'm tempted to look at spoilers for that All Out show, but I'll save it. Is there anything? Is there like a movie? I guess it's just like movies on Reddit. Apparently, a lot of people have really enjoyed that Naked Gun movie, and I know it's available to rent now. And I would like to watch it myself, so maybe that's something I need to check out. Oh yeah, I guess we could talk about that, huh? Because I did see that some blurry images of He-Man on BattleCat from the new film. Yeah, let's look that up real quick because I know that's something Tyler would have no interest in talking about at all. Let's just go to the Mass Universe subreddit. I'm sure it's on there, right? Gotta be. Yeah, people posting pictures of their socks, their collections. So anything. That's something I should have saved on my phone when I came across it and saved it just specifically for that moments a day ago. Come on, guys. Where's it at? This subreddit is just full of nothing but people posting their toys, which is great. I'm glad everyone's showing their passion for it, but where's the image? All right, I guess I'll just look it up. Got to be in here somewhere, right? Maybe I just go to Facebook because I know people were posting about it on there too. I'm not a part of any of the groups on Facebook, really, at all either. So maybe something here. Come on, there it is. There it is. That is exactly what I wanted. All right. So here is the image that Febmon was talking about. Any idea where this came from at all? It's kind of crazy that it's just someone got this, but I mean, from the blurriness of it, it looks fine, but you can still get the idea that he is pretty small and kind of not ideally what you want to think of when you're looking at He-Man, because that's it's much like that one photo where they had it shadowed out, but people have lightened the photo where it's just like showing the back of him and he just looks skinny. Same vibes here. BattleCat looks okay. I don't know. It is what it is. I'll check it out. Yeah, you're saying it looks like a cardboard standee for a movie theater. Yeah, but once again, why? It's kind of crazy they would already have that made when the movie doesn't come out for what, like 9 more months. Usually I feel like you wouldn't start seeing that stuff until like Christmas, maybe beginning of the year kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. I've said it before. I'll watch it, but the expectations are fairly low, pretty low actually. I mean, I'm genuinely surprised that it's getting a theatrical release with it being MGM and everything. I thought it would just be it would just pop up on Prime Video, you know. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. I mean, I'll pop it up again for everyone that wants to take a look at it. Just seems too skinny to me. I don't know. But hey, we got a Miami Vice movie coming in 2027, so hopefully that's good. But with Hollywood these days, who knows? Hope the movie is fun. I'm not having any expectations. Yeah, that's the perfect way to go into it. Hopeful, but you set your expectations to where you're not going to be just utterly disappointed. Will I go to the theaters and see it? More than likely not, but you never know. We'll see what happens when the trailer comes out, how that's all looking, because I could just as easily be like, all right, well, I'll wait for it to be on Prime Video in 2-3 months. I'll bring the mood down slightly because this was something that I wanted to to discuss. Let me get a picture. Because I some of you may know, some of you may not, because the YouTube landscape is definitely different than I feel like it was when I first started watching these guys 14 years ago. But Billy from the Game Chasers passed away a couple days ago. He had a very brief bout of cancer. It was brain cancer. They discovered the tumor, and it was too big to operate on, so they were going to do chemotherapy, and they had surgeries lined up and very hopeful. And I guess things just took a turn, and lost Billy. Was only 44, and that kind of, it starts to, obviously entirely too young to go. And then just myself thinking like, oh, I'm 41, very close in age in that regard. But I started watching Game Chasers. I actually looked this up. Their first episode of Game Chasers went up in April of 2011. I think by the summer, like early summer, probably like June, I was starting to watch them. And the awesome thing about the Game Chasers at that time, especially, is 2011 YouTube was a lot different than YouTube is today. And when it came to the sheer production value of their show compared to most everything else that was on YouTube at the time, it blew everything out of the water. So it really felt like you were watching a TV show, and that's exactly what they wanted to go for. It got me back into wanting to go out and hunt for video games. So I was going to the pawn shops, yard sales, especially flea markets. And around that time, the prices were pretty good. I think I dropped out of really collecting retro video games a few years after that, probably like 2014 or so. But I've been watching the Game Chasers ever since 2011. They had their offshoot show, Toy Chasers, which I especially loved because, I mean, look behind me. And there was a time when we were doing Fans of Power, and Melvor popped in, and I popped for that because I'm like, holy shit, Melvor watches the show. That's awesome. There's I don't know, man. I saw the update videos that Billy had posted on the Game Chasers channel. I was like, all right, well, that's not good, but there's some hope there. Seeing the posts, it's like, okay, they have this and this lined up. So when I saw on Facebook from Jay that Billy passed, it's one of those things, like, you just see it. It's like you felt that it might happen, but even when I saw that, like, like my heart sort of just skipped or jumped. Like, it was just like a real quick thing. So if you've never watched the Game Chasers before, I mean, I'll pop this up here because I had it loaded up. So yeah, there was the update stuff here, but I mean, they kept going. Now, granted, the upload started to, time in between. It's everyone's getting older. Everyone's got families. The chasing isn't what it used to be like. Price wise and everything. Trying to make content out of that had to have been difficult, going to these places and just not finding anything. That's, well, how are we gonna make a video out of this? But I highly recommend just searching the Game Chasers and looking around at their videos. You just scroll in the pages. You can just go. It's like seasons 1, 2, 3. And just play them all. They'll go in order. Just go down. Check their videos. Top 5 Fridays. That theme song. So bad it's good. And it's an earworm. I was actually singing it last night. It gets stuck in your head. And then also they had the dream to let's make a movie. So they sold off like chunks of their collection to help fund this movie, and of course, from backing too of their community, made it happen. Which if you have Prime Video, it's on there. It's on Tubi to watch. The Adventures of Game Chasing. Much like any of the other YouTubers that would make films, admittedly, I will say, like, yes, is it like The Godfather or Boogie Nights or something? No, of course not. But for what it is, it's a great time. So go give that a watch. Give these guys a watch on their YouTube channel. And just to Jay and Melvor and Dodongo, Rob, Eric, their other close friends within the YouTube community, Joe from GameSack, all those guys, like, condolences to you, the rest of Billy's family, Chris, Redneck Chris, you can't forget him either. Condolences to all of you, and yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I'll probably actually put on some Game Chasers at some point this weekend, I would do it before. They put out some DVD sets over the years too, and I have those, and we'll put those on because that was a time you had to think too, like, this is YouTube when there's not a YouTube app on a TV. And if there is one, it doesn't really work that well. So these guys, you think like Angry Video Game Nerd, they would put out DVDs. So yeah, Game Chaser DVDs, I'd put those on. Game Chasers got me through a lot of difficult times around that period. So they were always a comfort to watch for me. And I know that Jay and the guys, I think they're gonna put a video on the channel, I believe, to kind of give an update on, I guess, how they are gonna plan to move forward. Which selfishly, I hope they do continue in some way, because it's great content. Or if anything, maybe some Toy Chasers stuff, because that was always a blast. I don't have. I probably should have saved it for when I had like a proper drink, but yeah. Rest well, Billy. Fuck. It sucks. And just like those guys in general too. Sorry, I'm gonna keep kind of rambling on about the Chasers, but those guys, and never met them. And aside from Melvor being in the chat for a Fans of Power episode a time or two, and I've actually chatted a little bit through Messenger with Melvor, because I think the plan, and maybe it still will be at someday if he's up for it, is to bring him on and talk some Transformers, because he's a huge Transformers fan. But the thing that you would always see in the videos when they had their talking heads from other people within RetroWare TV, and kind of blanking on somebody. I was going to say Norm, the gaming historian, but I think he was sort of a part of RetroWare TV at the time. Anyway, all these guys are just like, how you see them on the show is how they are in real life, and you can see that. It just they genuine, just very genuine with who they are, who they've been. When I would watch the live streams Jay would do, and even when Billy would do them, just how they were when they were on the show. So once again, condolences to all those guys. Like they've been posting pretty regularly on Facebook, and Melvor saying like it's surreal. So yeah, I can't imagine. I can't fathom what they're going through and what they're feeling right now. Yeah, I really think I killed the mood in the chat with that one. Lost too many good people, not naming anyone specific this year. A lot of childhood icons, especially. Yeah. I think that just in general, that's what sucks about getting older, right? Because you really start running down the list of actors you love and wrestlers that you love in there, where no one's getting younger, So yeah, it's just sucks to be losing all those people. But let's try to up the mood here a little bit. Sergeant Kabuki Man came out from Vinegar Syndrome. Sorry, I just clicked on Blu-ray.com because I like to go there and see what reviews they have up for any particular discs. And Kabuki Man, which, Troma film. I may have watched Kabuki Man like 10 years ago, maybe, but I remember nothing about it. I do have it on DVD. I think I found it at a pawn shop because of that was during that time period where I'm going to pawn shops constantly and going to the DVD section because people were just dumping DVDs around this time and just perusing. If the pawn shop was really good, they would have a genre section because they had that many. So obviously I found myself in the action and horror sections, and Kabuki Man, I think they put him in horror, which is not really horror film that I remember anyway. But yeah, that I got that down there somewhere. Yeah, it was like, oh, have I gotten any action figures or anything lately? No, that pile right there is the Big Trouble in Little China. What was it? Can't remember the name of the company now that put those out in the early 2000s. The only one I'm missing now is Lopan. But so I got those guys there, and then in behind that, you see like the little white bit of the box. That's I probably pointed this out on the Master Powercast episode, but Tom went to San Diego Comic-Con and got me the exclusive Ecto-Glow Ghostbusters set. So having that kind of officially completes my Real Ghostbusters vintage collection, even though those aren't like legitimately the vintage ones. It's from the same molds and everything. So no one would really know the difference unless they printed the date on the bottom of the foot. Got Monkey Wrench in for the classifieds, the Dreadnought, so he'll go there on the Dreadnought shelf. That's kind of about it. I haven't really spent a lot of money on that stuff. It's just been buying Borderlands 4, and then I bought like a couple hats and a shirt. Yeah, I don't think I've ever worn a hat on the show, like an actual like baseball cap. And I know it's lame, but I look weird wearing a hat when my hair is long if I'm wearing it a regular way, but if I turn it backwards, you see, then it doesn't look half bad. So yeah, a couple of hats, a couple shirts on the way. Yeah, it's just like not. I know that the 2012 NECA Turtles went up for pre-order on the NECA store, and those sold out after I think like a day and a half. Those sold out, but they said that they would have details later on for other retailers. So I think I'm just going to wait until those either show up in like a Walmart or a Target, or if they show up on Big Bad. Also, surprisingly, what got announced, Super 7 is going to make some more Silverhawks. So they're going to do Flashback, Condor. They're going to do a tune version of Hardware, and then Melodia. So we got the toy accurate version of hardware early on. So now, yeah, it kind of bums me out that I was an early adopter to them getting into that, because if I would have waited, I could have just got the VAC metal versions of some of these guys too. Yeah, they kind of fumbled that a little bit, but it's like, do I pre-order those? Do I keep going with those and some of the Thundercats that I need to get? I'm just like, I don't know anymore. I don't know if yeah, it's like they take too long to get here. And then like my Silverhawks, man, with some of them, they want to just keep falling over repeatedly. And that's been frustrating. I think it's because of the way I have them posed too. So I don't know. I probably will. But at this point, maybe I wait, because I see these guys turn up a lot for sale on Big Bad on Amazon. They get a decent price cut on it. So maybe I should just hold out. God, and then you think like the price of figures have obviously gone up too. So make some decisions. Like they had this, which I would kind of like to get, because I don't really collect a lot of Transformers at all. Like if I'm going to collect anything, it's just going to be Soundwave. But $60, kind of a bummer. But this is from Transformers the movie. Yeah, it's like, I don't know if $60 is the right price for that, but yeah, I don't know. You guys got anything else for me? Let's keep going. Some blue tack and figure stands might help with your display. Yeah, I probably should get some stands to put there, so those guys at least want. They're the only figures I really have trouble with wanting to stand up. And the more times those fall over, you can start to feel the looseness in the knees, especially the ankles. I know that classics, a lot of people back in the day started to have some problems with the ankle joints on those guys. I could read some questions and comments from prior episodes of Master Powercast, but I should save that for next week. So we got that more towards the end. Yeah, it's tempting to just look at spoilers, but I think I'll give AEW my money and get it, spend it. I'm kind of curious how it's going to work now that they have them streaming on HBO Max too for a discount. Is it something that after the fact you can buy it? If you buy it, is it in like a library that you can use to rewatch it anytime you want, kind of thing? Because Prime Video does that if you buy their pay-per-views and things, but it's like, will Max do the same? Who knows? I was thinking about it. Should I get, because I talked about this previous, that I watched Blade Runner 2049 like a week or so ago, and I wanted to watch Blade Runner again. But if I'm going to do it, I think I kind of want to watch it on 4K, and it's not streaming anywhere. I'm like, should I just get the disc? It's $21 on Amazon. There's the Warner Archive Blu-ray release of Pump Up the Volume that I kind of definitely want to get, but it won't be here until October 6th. Because I think even with Warner Archive stuff, maybe, is that stuff burn on demand? So that would just be a Blu-ray burn. That's something I got to look at too. That's because I know that some DVDs that you get would be burn on demand depending on the company. It's like if you wanted to get Airborne, which is actually streaming for free on YouTube right now. So if you have not watched the Fish Out of Water story, Airborne, where what is it, a rollerblading is it the rollerblading kid from like California or something, and he ends up in Minnesota. You would think I would know this better because I've watched the movie quite a few times now at this point. Cincinnati. Cincinnati that he goes to. That's right. Yeah. Cincinnati, Ohio. And they just treat it like it's the worst place ever. Yeah. I need to watch that again. Watch Airborne. Watch the movie Rad, because that movie's great. Come on. Wrestling match you would have wanted to see between Hulk Hogan and anyone else, that anyone else could be real or a fictional person. I mean, I was never big on Hulk Hogan anyway. I mean, of course, as a younger kid, I was into him, but even then, it was more like Sting, Ultimate Warrior over Hogan, especially Sting. Sting was my guy as a kid. I'm talking Surfer Sting. I'm not talking Crow Sting, even though I liked Crow Sting a lot too. But I'm just saying around this time period. I mean, maybe instead of having that Hogan Warrior match at Mania, like seeing Hogan in his prime against Surfer Sting in his prime, a face versus face match would have been cool. But let's see, Hogan, anyone. See, I would make it probably a wrestler, not a fictional person or some random character. But I would have to think of someone Hulk didn't wrestle. I guess Hogan Cena probably would have been all right. It would have been like Hogan Rock, that would have been cool. I don't know. Hogan versus a fictional character though. Let's try to go that route. Well, then you got to think like fighting abilities too of certain characters, because there is, when I met Sergeant Slaughter, I got a print from him where he has both Hogan and Cobra Commander in a headlock. So maybe like Hogan versus Cobra Commander. I don't know. Probably Hogan versus Surfer Sting around that time, just to have the clash of the two top tier baby faces in both companies before they would end up wrestling each other years later, kind of thing. Get the discs; they take up less space than VHS, and you can always upgrade and resell it later. Yeah, I think with most of the stuff now, because I was on like a digital kick for a hot minute, but now that I really started thinking about it, it's like in the event, I mean, we've had times here where the internet's been down, so having a bunch of movies and TV shows to choose from is always good. It's like, oh, just pop them in the Xbox or now the PS5 and just watch them that way is always good. Oh, excuse me. When you don't have internet access. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have gotten some of that stuff digitally, unless it was like digital exclusive. But some stuff I would just buy it because it was. I always looked at it as like, oh, well, who knows if this is coming out on disc yet? If it does, that's a couple months down the road. This is the same price as it would have been if we went to the theater and saw it. So why not do it? So yeah, there's a couple things like Sinners I would like to get on 4K just because I really enjoyed that movie. That would be a good one to have. But it's streaming on Max right now too, so that's the thing. I kind of look at it more as like get the disc when it's not streaming anywhere, kind of thing. Or if it's a special case where it's something like Vinegar Syndrome or Arrow Video putting out the 4K Ninja Turtle trilogy. That's kind of where I sort of sit. Like Arrow Video came out with Cobra on 4K, and I picked that up. So a little more picky and choosy about certain things, or if it's something I know I definitely want to upgrade. If I haven't bought it on Blu-ray and all I have is a DVD, then yeah, much like Blade Runner. Like Blade Runner, I have it on DVD. I could watch it on DVD, but watching a DVD on a 70-inch television in the living room doesn't really hit the same as it would if you were watching it on Blu-ray or 4K. So yeah, I don't think I'll pull the trigger just yet on Blade Runner, because since with that being a Warner Brothers release, I could easily see that Amazon maybe having a promotion where it's like 3 for whatever, like 3 for 30, and maybe they've dropped maybe that'll be eligible. I can get it for $10 if I can find 2 other movies that I want to pair with it. So I'll hang out just a little bit longer and see if we get a decent price drop on that, because I know that it's dropped before. With that being a catalog title, it'll drop again without a doubt. I did see though, one thing I probably will get, and this was one that I had on DVD, but I haven't watched it in a long time. But the Shout Select 4K release of Kurt Russell's Used Cars, got that on my wish list, so I might pick that up. And I'll probably definitely get Pump Up the Volume just because I really, really enjoyed it. And I don't know if that will ever get another release aside from Blu-ray, because I mean, this came out on Blu-ray and it ends up being a Warner Archive release, and that's usually not a good sign, unless a company like Arrow Video wants to pick up Pump Up the Volume and put out a 4K, which I'm all for. Please do it. Yeah, there's a couple others that I had, like The Holdovers on 4K. That's a great like little holiday film with Paul Giamatti that came out a couple years back. But once again, that's currently it bounces around streaming services. So it was on Peacock, and then it went to Prime Video, and I think it's still there. Oh, it's on Starz right now, which oddly enough, I do have a Starz subscription, because I think I got a Starz subscription for the TV show Heels, which is no longer on there, and that's on Netflix now. But Starz always has a good selection of older films all the time. But if you haven't watched The Holdovers, man, do that. It involves Christmas time, so that's for me. I'm gonna watch it during the holidays. So yeah, got The Holdovers there. That's in my wish list, and then Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola film. I like it a lot. I know it's very divisive with people. They don't like Keanu Reeves acting in it, or Winona Ryder either, I don't think. But I enjoyed the fuck out of it. So I'm going to wait for that to price drop, and it probably will around Halloween. And then Whiplash. I loved Whiplash, even though that's like kind of a hard watch. But, it's not streaming anywhere anymore. It used to be on Netflix for like the longest time, and now it's not streaming anywhere. So yeah, Whiplash is probably something I need to pick up on disc. Just when the urge strikes, there's been a few times the past couple of years I'm like, I really want to watch this, and then you Google search it and it's not streaming anywhere, and you're like, okay. Depending on the type of movie it is, I'm like, well, maybe the full movie's uploaded on YouTube or something. Or maybe it's streaming with ads, or free for me since I have the premium on YouTube. And after all that fails, then I'm like, okay, is it out of print? Where's that on disc? And I'll look it up and see how much it is. Sometimes I just pull the trigger on these things. I'm like, all right, it gets here, then I'll set aside the time and watch it then. So, yeah, I need to get back into just physical buying, just more physical media, just to have it. Just to have it. Yeah, just in case. You never know. Yeah, I probably should have put some more things that I wanted to talk about, but I think we kind of hit most of that stuff. If you guys don't have too much else for me, I might go ahead and we'll call it a stream and leave it as it is. Hopefully, if anyone watches this after the fact and you're putting it on and you're like, hopefully you enjoy it, just the free flow or just hanging out. I'm just babbling on about whatever. And, let me know if this is something that you think I should do a little more, try to do more often. I'm not saying like an every week thing, but just when the situation strikes, when it hits just the right way. It's like, I have this amount of time. Emily's out of town. Tyler's sick or he's out of town. There's not going to be a show this week. Let's go ahead and do something. As Fedmon alluded to earlier, it's like, and I considered it. It's like, maybe I'll play some vintage video games. But I think for this one, I just kind of want to sit here, talk about stuff, anything random, and go from there. Any word on when Fantastic Four First Steps is gonna pop up? Wait, it's saying new on streaming this week. Where? Tuesday is September 23rd. All right. I'll be able to, if I want to, purchase that and watch it digitally. I know I just talked about how important it is for physical media, and then I want to get back into that. But yeah, Fantastic Four is something that I meant to get to watch in theaters. And I kind of don't want to wait until it eventually streams on Disney. Because at this point, I don't even know if I want to. Because I don't really watch much stuff on the Disney Plus app anymore. Like, I feel like out of that whole thing, the only thing I really want to keep is ESPN, just because hockey season is right around the corner. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe because it has $30 to buy it, $25 to rent it, which that's stupid at that point. At $5 more, you may as well just buy it and own it, right? So yeah, Fedmon, yeah, once in a while on Saturday sounds good, but maybe also have the occasional guest or co-host as well. Yeah. Well, options are a little limited these days. Yeah, I think with that, we will call it a stream. I'll definitely look into a co-host-esque kind of thing, or maybe, bravely enough, maybe just put the StreamYard link. It sounds like a terrible idea, but put the link in the chat or something, and then have the chat people randomly join in. But that just sounds like an awful idea. So I don't know if I will do that, but hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's like just rambling and nothing much of importance, but I don't know. Thanks for the handful of you that joined in, left comments, tossed me a few questions, or you just kind of lurked around and sat, and I helped kill an hour and a half of your day. No. Watch me try to cook something. Absolutely not. Once again, just terrible ideas all around. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully, more than likely, but hopefully we'll be back at you next weekend with a proper episode of Master Powercast. See you soon. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Coop, I don't have your fucking ball. Good luck next year.